Hey guys, it's Sandro here, and today's video is an in-depth look at NV's Nova spray coatings in the form of Jet, Lustre and Boost. If there's one question that I've been asked more than any other via the YouTube comments, Facebook, Instagram and email over the last few months, it's been what's the difference between Jet, Lustre and Boost? Now you know that I love each and every one of you, and you know that I'm always happy to help. But after answering this question hundreds of times over, it's honestly hurting my soul a little through the constant repetition. But I accept responsibility for not putting this video out sooner. That'll hopefully help answer all your questions on these three spray coatings. And for those of you who are interested in how they compare to other ceramic spray sealants, you can check out my reviews on Meguiar's Hybrid Ceramic Wax, Beadmaker, Seal and Shine, Mother CMX and more, in which I use these Nova spray coatings to directly compare them all. So today's video will primarily focus on how these three products differ and compare to each other and why you may choose one over the other. And just before we get started, I'll finally add that for the first time ever on this channel, there'll be a discount coupon code in the description box, courtesy of the guys at NV, which you can use at their website to get quite a substantial discount if you are interested in trying some of these products. The code will only be available for a couple of weeks after this video is uploaded, so I'm sorry if you're watching it at a later date. It will apply to worldwide shipping, but if you have any more questions or concerns about the coupon, shipping or your orders, just contact the guys at NV who'll be happy to help. But from my end, I'd also love to hear from you guys in the comments if you'd be interested in more and diverse discount coupon codes, links and giveaways in the future that not only help you guys get better deals, but also go towards supporting and funding the channel so that hopefully as it continues to grow, I can dedicate more time and resources towards making the videos you guys are requesting more frequently. But enough of that, let's get to the video. To try and make things a little clearer, I'm going to add a bunch of categories and rate these products first, second and third in each area to help explain the differences of how they perform compared to one another in each category. First is ease of use and flexibility of application. Boost is noticeably the easiest, quickest and most forgiving of the three to apply. You can apply it section by section or even to large areas of your car at once. It's also sun friendly and levels down perfectly with next to no effort required. Although I can't say that Nova Jet has a difficult application at all, it will be the one of the three that has a little more grippiness and perhaps requires a touch more time to level down seamlessly. And unlike Boost, you really need to work small sections and away from direct sunlight. Lustre would sit smack bang in the middle of the two, as you also don't want to be applying it in direct sunlight or working overly large areas at once. But its silky smooth application does make it such a nice and rewarding spray sealant to apply with such a seamless, easy wipe off. Next is looking at their ability to add gloss and amplify the paint. One important thing to note is that unlike Jet and Lustre that can be used as standalone spray coatings, Boost is really more of a topper or quick detailer used to repair and maintain waxes, sealants and primarily coatings. So although Boost will definitely improve and boost any paint it's applied over, it's not so much about overly altering it rather than just improving or maintaining it. And as you can hopefully see, out of these three products, Boost has had less impact in altering the finish of this swirled and hazed paint. But in relation to gloss or saturation, Jet would sit in the middle here, having a slightly more obvious impact towards altering clean bare paint than Boost, but with a more noticeable ability to darken and enrich the paint while still being able to fill some minor swirls and haze. But out of these three spray coatings, this is where Lustre truly excels. Its ability to add gloss and clarity to the finish of automotive paint is really its single most impressive feature in my opinion. And I'll also say quite confidently that I've yet to try any wax sealant or spray coating that can match Lustre's ability in this area. Next I want to talk a little about their hydrophobic performance and water behaviour. But as we have a look at the footage, I want to firstly start with Boost and discuss the fact that how you apply it massively affects how it performs. The thing I love most about Boost is how when you use it sparingly, as you should, it works like a repair system to fill in the areas that are diminishing or failing in the wax, sealant or coating you applied over. So it more or less just boosts the finish rather than masking it. But when you apply it heavily, like I did on this tiny panel section, you lose that and it really becomes more like a standalone sealant. So whereas you'd normally apply a small spray or two of jet or Lustre to work a half meter section, you'd probably apply a small spray or two of Boost to work a whole car panel like a bonnet, roof or door. I know I say it all the time, but even more so when it comes to Boost, less is more. That is, at least if you want it to perform as intended. But with all that being said, hopefully you can see in the footage that all three products do have some fairly impressive water behaviour. But as we continue to look at how the water behaves in each of these three sections, you should start to see that Nova Jet is really more in a league of its own when it comes to dramatic water bead contact angles and insanely rapid water sheeting or repelling behaviour. And just as glass is perhaps Lustre's single greatest characteristic, hydrophobic behaviour would be Jet's. Now if you apply Boost a little more sparingly, its water behaviour will mimic the product or surface you applied over, but applied more generously, it will start to take on a behaviour closer to that of Lustre, which is still fantastic but not quite to the level of Jet. So overall, in relation to hydrophobic behaviour, Jet will be the front runner, followed by Lustre and then Boost. Next I want to discuss the chemical resistance that these three spray coatings provide, which to some extent relates to their durability. Once again, Boost is more the wild card, that if you apply it sparingly, it'll actually start to break down with just your regular maintenance car wash. But if you apply it more generously, it will in fact resist even stronger chemicals like degreasers, iron and tar removers. But overall, this is once again where Nova Jet excels, as it really does have a massive resistance to both cleaning chemicals and environmental wear and tear. So much so that it'll rival some true ceramic coatings in that area. But another thing to take note of is that although Nova Lustre seems to have its water behaviour diminished quicker than Jet, its gloss level seems to actually stay intact longer than Jet. And this is why both spray coatings have similar durability claims up to 6 months. The only difference is that Jet maintains its amazing water behaviour for longer, while Lustre maintains its amazing look and gloss for longer. But as far as general chemical resistance goes, I'd say Jet comes first, followed by Lustre and then Boost. Next I'm going to look at their slickness, or the lack of friction that they create on the paint. Overall in my experience, although ceramic coatings definitely tend to add noticeable slickness to bare paint, they really don't tend to be quite as slick to the touch as waxes, sealants or quick detailers. And if there was one obvious difference that you notice immediately with Boost after you apply it, it would be its amazing silky smooth touch, that hopefully you can see in the footage just what a difference it makes to the ceramic coating's lack of friction when it's applied over it. But out of the three, Jet would actually be the one that doesn't have quite as much slickness in its finish. Though I have to be clear that it's still quite a slick finish. That's definitely a step up on just about any ceramic coating you're likely to apply it over. But with all that said, Lustre would still be the spray coating of the three that does create the smoothest and slickest finish of all. Now it's not like Boost is all that far off, as it's actually really close. But Lustre is just a touch slicker with just a touch less friction in the finish. And I'm sure that anyone who's actually tried it can confirm just how amazing the paint feels after its application. Next I want to discuss layering. Some of you may have noticed the new Nova bottle labels and the fact that the brand Concours has now changed to the name NV. With this whole new name and relaunch of the brand, so too have many of the products had minor tweaks and updates, one of which is the improved layering ability of both Nova Jet and Lustre. Now although Jet and Lustre were still able to be applied as multiple layers in the past, you'll find that they now bond to each other even more so effectively with both increased durability and gloss that just wasn't possible to this level before. And I'll also quickly add that if you've bought either Jet or Lustre in the past couple of months, chances are you already have this updated formulation even in the older Concours labelled bottles. Now based on the testing that I've done, there is an optimal time to apply an additional layer, which is approximately half an hour to an hour after the first or prior layer depending on the weather. However, I've also been testing layering a week or two later and it actually still works surprisingly well being reapplied after a maintenance wash. So there's lots of flexibility where these spray coatings now seem to really accept additional layers extremely effectively and easily. And hopefully you can see on the test panel that each additional layer is in fact being accepted by the previous layer and building over the paint in thickness. Now before any of you ask, yes, you can in fact layer all these three spray coatings with one another. And for those of you that have used Jet and Lustre in the past, you'll probably already know that Jet applied over Lustre is a favourite combination of many enthusiasts and professional detailers that use the Nova spray coatings. My advice with layering them to achieve the best possible finish, performance and long-term durability is to start with Lustre as your base layer, which is going to do the most in relation to adding gloss and filling in minor defects, followed by Jet, which will seal in Lustre's finish and protect it with its fantastic environmental and chemical resistance, as well as help keep the paint cleaner for longer with its increased hydrophobic behaviour. Thirdly, Boost used as your final top layer will actually give Jet that silky slick feel, and used regularly or even occasionally after maintenance washes, Boost will ensure that the base layers of Jet and Lustre keep on performing and looking their best for potentially up to a year depending on conditions. So although you can most certainly use them on their own, there's also extreme flexibility and the potential for increased performance, look and durability by using them consecutively. While we have a look at some more water behaviour on these final test panels, I'll just sum up this video with my final thoughts and try to quickly summarise these three unique Nova spray coatings. The best way to look at Boost is as a new breed of an SiO2 based quick detailer that's all about maintaining your favourite wax, sealant or coating through its unique capabilities that fill in imperfections or failing areas of your existing paint protection and enhances or boosts the finish back to life. It can be used as the final step for your weekly wash to achieve that spotless finish, and is also perfect as a drying aid or even for some light waterless cleaning duties due to its fantastic lubrication. Lustre is really all about gloss and a deep rich finish with that super slick and silky touch. It can be used as a standalone paint sealant, or it can also be used over or under a wax or sealant due to its layering flexibility. Jet can only be described as a hydrophobic beast, with its amazing water behaviour and self-cleaning properties that also has the added bonus of being one of the most chemical resistant car sealants in existence. So to put it even more simply, If maintaining your favorite wax, sealant or coating is your main goal, then Boost is the product you're after. If maximum gloss and slickness is at the top of your list, then Lustre is the one for you. And if pearl-like water beads, rapid water sheeting, and environmental and chemical resistant is what matters to you most, then Jet's got you covered. And if you're one of those guys that just can't choose, then Lustre, top with Jet and maintain with Boost, lets you have it all. The thing I love most about these spray coatings / sealants is that they all have very focused and unique characteristics. And NV isn't blatantly lying like many other brands and saying that each product is the most hydrophobic or has the most gloss or the slickest feel, as there's always going to be a compromise one way or the other. Instead, you are given the choice to choose what's most important to you, and I really appreciate that honesty. And because I know that I'm going to be asked the question of which one would I choose if I could only have one, I'd say that my overall favourite is still the first one I tried almost 4 years ago, which is Nova Jet. To end with, I'll just add some hopefully useful points. As far as curing times go, you'll find that all these spray coatings will be fully cured within an hour or two after application and good to go. They can also be applied to wet or damp paint, and quite honestly they still work surprisingly well even without properly preparing your paint. But you will discover their maximum durability and performance when applying them to clean bare paint. And for those of you that aren't aware, NV is an Australian run and owned brand by guys with a real passion for detailing and innovation who've been in this industry for decades. Cue the water beads. As always, I really hope you guys enjoyed and found this video useful. Please like, comment and subscribe to this channel to show your support for these videos, and I'll see you guys soon.